everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time, you're welcome. My name is Sharma, and for today's update, I am going to do an overview on my spreadsheet. So I think I'm going to take this approach. Once a month, I'll review my spreadsheet, and I'll do it at the end of the month. So I'll do a review of my purchases for the past week since my last update, and then I'll review my positions and how much I invested in my portfolio for the past week. So for those of you who are just visiting for the first time, I am on a quest to take this account from $0 to $10,000 by the end of the year. And of course, I'm focusing heavily on investing in dividend paying stocks, Canadian dividend paying stocks. Once again, you can invest in US stocks, but keep in mind you would have to pay an exchange rate fee. Okay, so here we go. So for the past week, I invested 5 shares in Absolute Software, which is ABST. I did increase 1 share of my psychedelic stock, 3 my Kenros Gold, and 1 Manulife. So that's what I did activity-wise for the last week. So let's have a look at my portfolio to see what it looks like. So let's start with the top here. We can see that I have 28 shares in total, Manulife, and I'm not going to go over the entire spreadsheet. You can see my average price. I try to update this as often as possible. So every time you make increases to your purchasing positions, then your average price changes. And of course, I have to come back here and update it. So I'm trying my best to make sure I do that. So I have 20 Kenros Gold, Gold Corp. I have 4 Power Corporation Canada stocks. I have 57 Absolute Software Corp. So this position had quite a dip about 2.5 weeks ago. So so far I think I've added about 25 shares to the position I had before it took the dip. So which is great. I'm averaging down. I have 100 CloudMD Software Services Inc. I have 54 Well Health Technology Corp. 353 Renewable Inc. TransAlta Renewables, I have 20 shares. H2O Innovation Inc., I have 20 shares. I also have Algonquin. I actually have 35 shares, Algonquin Power and Utilities. I have 514 Good Natured Products Inc. I have 50 Burcon NutraScience Corp. This is a plant-based security a company that focuses on making foods using plants, plant-based science. So it's a fairly new industry and it's growing quite nicely. This company actually has quite a few patents. So I know a lot. I don't think I've heard quite anybody really talk about this company, but I think they're quite interesting, and I think in the future they have a rosy future ahead of them. Following that, I have TELUS Corp. I have 10 shares of TELUS Corp. Then Dividend 15 Split Corp. I have 71 shares. I then have Harvest Healthcare Leaders Income ETF Unhinged. I have 102 shares. Horizon Psychedelic Inc. I have 11 shares. BMO Canadian High Dividend Covered Call ETF. I have 10 shares. BMO Covered Call Utilities ETF. I have 42 shares. And there I have Interrent Real Estate Investment Trust, 15 shares. And RioCan Real Estate Investment Trust, 10 shares. So I have 2 REITs in my portfolio. So I've tried to be fairly balanced with the industries that I've invested in. So I'm going to go over, just have a quick glance at our pie charts, you can see the breakdown of my portfolio weight for each position or each industry. And you see here by the position, by the percentages here with the graphs. There we go. We can see I have 21.7% weight in ETFs. I have 6.2% in REITs, 13.0% in financial commodities, 18.7% technology. I have 7.5% in income funds, 3.7% communications, 1.8% biotech, life and sciences, 6.2% manufacturing industry, 8.8% utilities, 12.3% energy, 18.7% technology. So you can see I'm fairly balanced. I am not too heavily, I think I'm fairly balanced. My largest part is, or position I should say, excuse me, is ETFs. So I'm comfortable with that because my ETFs are in different industries. So I have the HHL, which focuses on healthcare companies. And then I have my my BMOs, I have the utilities, and I have high income index. So yes, I'm fairly balanced, which I'm quite comfortable with. And this pie chart here will just show you the specific position or the stock that I have or the company I've invested in, and it gives you the specific breakdown of each of the specific position. Okay, so that's my pie chart here. Then I'm going to glide over, and here, this is fairly interesting. Let's look at the top first. Oops, let's slide back over. Oops, there we go. So here we're going to see how much I invested in the portfolio for this past month. So for the month of August, I invested $805 into my portfolio. And here you can see a clearly breakdown of every month how much I invested. On the top here, if I had invested in any of these accounts, I would make a record of how much I invested. Okay, I don't have an RRSP account right now. My personal cash account doesn't have any money in it. It's only the TFSA. This IRA and Roth IRA is the US fund, not funds, but account, which I would never have. So I think at some point I'm going to replace them with something else, but I haven't figured that out yet. If anyone has any suggestions, let me know. So you can see so far in my position, in my portfolio, I have invested a total value of $8,039. Okay, so let us go back down to the bottom just so you can see how this reflects here. So this graph reflects how much I've invested each month, right? So you can see January, I invested the most, right? It's the tallest, there we go. And you can see July, I would say I invested the least amount. And then I have August, right? So today is the 1st of September. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to record how much we've invested for the past month, and then I'll review that again with you. So here we're going to go over, this is where I keep track of my dividends, the dividends I've received for the past month. So here I have only the stocks that pay out dividends every month or every quarter. So you can see Absolute Software Corp, and I've made a note of the months that I expect the dividends to be paid out. So there we go. And so for the month here, you can see that I have received, for the past month, I've received a dividend for the month of August, totaling $18.62. Now, my portfolio, I started it in mid-January, January 15th and January 15th, but I invested in only portfolio positions that paid out quarterly. So I started off with Algonquin and TELUS. So that's why I didn't get any payout for the month of January and February, but I started in May, and then I included some monthly paying dividend stocks. So that's why you don't see any payouts for January and February. And however, for the 1st of September, I've already gotten a dividend payout for TransAlta, which is really good. So I am aiming to increase my dividend payout amounts. So as you all know, that I'm increasing the amount of dividend paying stocks that I have. So this should increase as the months go on. Okay, so that is the overview for that. And then you have my chart at the bottom again, which reflects the amount of money I got paid out in dividends. And so my largest month, my biggest month was July. There we go. And here it shows September, what I've received so far. So this is a brief overview of my spreadsheet. And so this helps me really keep everything in order. So I can, on one spreadsheet, I can see how much money I've deposited, how much dividends I've got paid out for the month, if my dividend payouts is going to be quarterly or monthly, and I'm keeping a track of, yes, how much I've paid into the portfolio per month. And then here we have this spreadsheet that tells you your gains and your losses, your portfolio weight, your dividend percentage, annual income, market value, exact book cost, and average price, how many shares, right? So that's pretty much an overview of my portfolio. Yes. So thank you so much for continuing to follow me on this journey. I hope I have inspired someone to start investing. If you haven't done so far, I am using Wealthsimple, which is a Canadian brokerage company that allows us to purchase Canadian securities at zero commission, which is amazing. So I would encourage anyone to take advantage of this brokerage, especially if you're a new investor. It's a platform that's very easy to follow. It's not complicated, which I found very helpful because I have no experience in investing. So I'm learning as I go along. There's a number of YouTubers that I follow that really give me good pointers as what they recommend, what I can look at, and different areas that could be possibilities that I could invest in at some point. So this is it. So thank you everyone for continuing to the end of this video. I thank you so much. I appreciate you. Don't forget to like this video, please. It would help this video to grow, along with subscribing. Really do subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and also turn on the notification bell so that you would be notified every time I update a video. Okay, so thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next video.